All right, so we are moving on now to our second part, and we're going to do the back part two. Now, the front and the back are basically the same. So when we cut these using the wood equipment and the wood tools, when we cut these pieces, it will be cut to the same sizes. So technically, it's really only one part, just made twice. However, I'm going to have you do this a second time for practice. Plus, we're going to use the front part to put the clock face on a little bit later, and we're going to kind of do that in CAD so you can kind of see how that works. So for right now, we're going to do both the front and the back so that you have both. That gives you more practice, but it's basically the same thing as the front. So again, I'm going to, just to reinforce, I'm going to come right here to the new part. So wait for that to open up. So while we're waiting, I will talk about your model browser over here. So your model browser gives you all of the information and kind of gives you a step-by-step play. So it's important to keep this in mind and keep that open. Sometimes though, as you're using Inventor, you might click that X and you close out the model browser and you wonder, oh, where did that go? So, well, it's real easy to get back. You just come up here to environments. So here in your, I'm sorry, not in environments, in view. So you go to the view tab, and here under user interface, if you click this arrow next to user interface, well, there's your model browser right there. So we'll just click that to bring that back up, and it's back in there. And I like to always keep this open, so because it tells me the routing or the way that you actually started to do your drawing. It lets me know what your logic is and what your thought process was when you're creating a part file. And I can go back and see where you maybe made a mistake or went wrong, or give you some feedback on what to do with that. So I like to keep that open at all the time, and I generally draw with that. Some people close it out because they like to have a bigger drawing area. Again, as you think about it, all of this area right here is the drawing area, so we will keep that there. All right, so I'm ready here now for my next part. So close this out. Let's get a new part here. So get this loaded in. And again, I'm going to just go right to my Start 2D Sketch. I'm going to come over. I'm going to sketch on the XY plane. So I will left click on the XY plane. It brings me into my front view here. Look at your view cube. So now you're looking at this right on your front view. I'm going to go to my draw rectangle, my 2-point rectangle. I'll left click on that. Come right over here. Place the cursor on the origin point. Left click, move up and to the right, and now I just, with my left hand, I'm keeping my right hand on the cursor, right hand off of my mouse. I want to control that, and all of the keying sequence I'm going to do here with my left hand. So I'm going to enter 5.5, hit the tab button, 5.5 for this, then I'll hit enter. Again, it disappeared. It didn't really disappear. We're just zoomed in real close. So come right over here, click front to bring it back. So I'm done. I will finish that sketch. Again, it zooms back in. So come back to your view cube, hit the home button there on your view cube. So there I've got my sketch, and I look, it measures 5.5 by 5.5. Now I can go to extrude. It comes out of the screen this way. Again, we talked last time about how I can go into the screen. I can pull it away from the screen. Here I've got something that's symmetrical, so it can be both sides equally of that plane, or what I call the screen. But in this case, we'll go ahead and have this coming out towards us. Now, change your 1 inch to 0.75 inches, because we only want that to be 3/4 of an inch, and click OK. I'm done. So we're good to go. Now, let's just talk for a minute. Let's say you got trigger happy and your trigger finger clicked and pasted and placed things where or placed dimensions that you didn't know. You need to make some changes to it. It's not a problem. It's real easy. So if I go back and I put my cursor right here where it says extrusion 1, if I right click on that, I get a whole different menu, and I can go to edit feature. That brings this menu back up. So now I can change, let's say I wanted to change this as the 1.5. I'll go ahead and change that to 1.5 thick. Well, we know that's not right, so let's go ahead and go back. Move your cursor to extrusion 1, right click on it, go back to edit feature. Let's fix that and change it to the 0.75 for 3/4 of an inch. Hit OK or enter that way. And let's say if I dimensionally made changes, so I'll go back here now. Notice there's this plus right here to the extrusion. If I click that plus, you see our sketch, our original sketch. What happened when we click the extrusion? We say that the extrusion consumed the sketch. The extrusion consumed the sketch. So we can either put the cursor on the sketch and right click edit sketch here, or again, let me hit the escape button twice to get out of that, or we can hit the extrusion 1, right click and hit edit sketch there. Either way, it'll do the same thing. Then I could come in here, double left click on that dimension. Let's say I wanted to change it to 6.5. I can change it to 6.5 like that, but we know I didn't want that, so let me double left click on that again, 5.5, and hit OK with the check mark. I'll go ahead and hit the check mark to finish sketch right here. And now the only thing I got left to do with this is change that material. We're going to change that material to oak. So, and I will go File, Save As. Again, make sure that you save this to the desktop. And here we want this to be back, because this is going to be the back part of the clock. So back hyphen first and last, your first initial, your last name, and click save. Okay, we're good to go with this part. So I'm all done. I've got everything the way I want it to be. So if you want to, you can kind of look here on the view cube, see what it looks like from the front view. Here's the side view. Come back to the front. Let's rotate to the top so you kind of get an idea. And I'll hit the home view, which gives me a what we refer to as an isometric view, but it's basically done. And I have saved it. So we are finished. At this point, I can close out.